Sidechain ducking. Okay, so a sidechain is quite an interesting thing, and it works with Dynamics processors. And it's the idea that all Dynamics processors are based on triggering the processor because of going above or below a certain threshold. And usually what happens is it is the signal that is being compressed or gated or whatever that is triggering that threshold to trigger the processing. But what a sidechain is it's taking another signal and using that to trigger the threshold. So we're going to compress this track, but we're going to trigger that compression based on the actions of another track. And the most common thing using the sidechain, well, one of the most common things, and the one I'm going to show you right now, is ducking. And so what I'm going to do is we're going to put our compressor on the submix here. And what we're going to do is have this compressor on the choir not react to the choir, but react to the vocalist. So when the vocalist sings while the choir is singing, the choir will get compressed and turned down, and the vocalist will become more apparent. Okay, and the way to do this is with the key input here in Pro Tools. And so the thing we need to do is we need to send a separate output of our lead vocal over to this key input. And the easiest way to do that is to go ahead and bring one of our sends back up. And I'm going to go ahead and hold the command key, and I'm going to go to send B so I can use another send here. And I'm going to send it to just any old bus. I'm going to use bus 13. And I'll get rid of this. Just pull it up here, and I'm going to take my key input and set that as bus 13. So now, as soon as I do that, and click on the little key here to say we're going to trigger this plugin based on our key input, which is bus 13, which is coming from our lead vocal. As soon as we do that, now this compressor is not acting based on the signal coming through. It's acting based on the signal coming from the lead vocal, but it will still process the signal coming through. Hopefully that makes some sense. Okay. Well, notice how that is reacting to Okay, so you'll notice that this gain reduction is reacting to our lead vocalist and not to our choir. So listen again and watch this and notice how the choir, if the choir is singing and she starts singing, they just kind of get shoved out of the way. And the reason why it's called ducking is because they duck out of the way as soon as she pops her head up. Okay? Okay, and if we bypass it, listen to the difference here. Okay, you hear that come soon and the fret now. Those are the two that she's really making those phrases while the choir is singing. So now listen to Don't Fret Now and Come Soon as we have this on and in place, and you'll notice that you can hear the lead vocalist better because the choir ducks out of the way. Okay, so ducking is something that still gets used quite a bit, but not as much as it used to because we have such wonderful possibilities with automation and such, where we could just go through and automate our submix so that it turns down every once in a while and the lead vocal pops up. But ducking is used quite a bit in radio and such, and you'll notice if someone starts talking and their background music turns down, and then as soon as they stop talking, their background music pops back up, it's because there is a ducking side chain kind of set up where their vocal is triggering the side chain that's on the background music or on the bed music. Okay, now we could do a side chain on countless other things. We could do it on the organ and the guitar so that every time the guitar plays, the organ kind of ducks out. We could do it on the piano and the vocal so that when the vocal comes, the piano kind of ducks. So there's a lot of things we can do that with. It's a great tool and very useful in mixing, and that's using a side chain to do ducking with compression.